Hello everybody. This is a corner roll that I made just a little bit ago. See, on the last video, you can see how big they come out. I'm just going to pinch a little piece off of that and eat it. These are very good. That's how big they come out. I'll put these back in there because I don't want to eat any tonight. So, anyway, Tom got up for a little bit and went back to bed. It's raining here. And in the back of the house, we have a tin roof. And you can hear that rain hitting the tin. So I decided while he's asleep, the boys are with their dad and I'm just here. Even the dog is asleep and it's 8 o'clock. So I decided to go ahead and make a pie, custard pie. It's easy, it's simple, and if you like custard pie, it's the way to go. So anyway, I'm just going to start. I'm going to use a pie crust that I did not make. And of all the things I know how to make, I never can do pie crust the way I like it. My daughter can. So it is what it is when it comes to baking. Some people like certain things and some people can do certain things. So here we are. Get these out. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 of them. So, anyway, I've been waiting to use this. I've got 2 blue ones, and I usually use the blades, but instead of getting my mixer out, this is my Tupperware chopper, Power Chef chopper, and I'm going to use the blade for like cake mixes and stuff. And then I'm going to make custard pie. So let's see here. I want to start with the eggs because for custard pie you need eggs. So I'm just going to take this off. I've used my blue Tupperware Power Chefs, but I've had this for quite a while, and I'm going to use it tonight just to make it special. So I'm going to go ahead and do the one pie, and then I'll do another. But here, you put 4 eggs in. You can use, like I said, you can use a mixer or a whisk or whatever you want to use. There we go. 2, 3, 4 eggs for each pie. And this has a funnel to it, so. But this is such a godsend. I'll tell you, these Tupperware. The only thing is I got to get this lid on right, because if I don't, I'm going to embarrass myself. There we go. All right, this also has a place to put a funnel, so I can just pour my milk in there. But what I'm going to do is take the 4 eggs, and you just take that just like that. Used to call it my little lawnmower, but it's a Tupperware Power Chef, and I wanted it in red, so there we go. So see, it just, that little bit of time had that egg all ready for me. And then the next thing that I will put in, and it's so simple to do these, is just a little bit, a half a cup of sugar. So I got a cup there because I'm making 2 pies. This is for liquid pan. So I'm going to put a half a cup in. That was supposed to be for liquid, and I used sugar on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my half cup of sugar in. There we go. And put that back on. And the trick to the pie that I always use, I know I've gotten pies before, custard pies, and had these big sweaty holes in them and stuff. Well, the trick to eliminate that is cornstarch, good old Argo cornstarch. So I always just take about not quite a tablespoon of cornstarch, and I throw in that, and that absorbs all that extra liquid that you don't want sweating in your pies. So I'll just mix that up. So we got 4 eggs, a half a cup of sugar, and then I put the tablespoon of cornstarch in it, and that's an amazing miracle trick that is really good. So now I'm just going to take the milk, and it takes usually 2 cups of milk. I don't use regular milk. I always use the evaporated milk. I always shake it up too. Now I'll take my Tupperware can opener and open it up, because I couldn't find my pokey thing that you use to poke a hole in each side. So couldn't find it. And I turned my oven on to get it ready. I'm left-handed, so I'm always going one way, different direction. And that just lifts that right off of there. I'm going to take it that far. But it lifts it right up. It'll take it off, and I don't get cut. So now, I'm going to go ahead and pour this whole thing in there. And this Tupperware thing has a spout on it. So I'm going to pour that down in there. I don't have it in right. There we go. That's the first time I've ever used the spout. So I think I'm just going to do it the other way. Believe me, it works good. It's just me. Okay, I like to make messes anyway. But I'm going to pour this milk in there, the whole can. And I always use evaporated, because that's another thing that causes it not to be watery and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to put just a touch of salt in that balance it out. So we've got 1 can of evaporated milk, 4 eggs, a half a cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of Argo cornstarch, and we'll do about a teaspoon of vanilla in that, and we'll mix that all up in this Power Chef. I like this because it's like a little, used to be the olden days pull lawnmower, and it just mixes up so nice without plugging your mixer and all that in. The main event tonight's the pie. So I got that mixed up. And now I'm not making a pie crust homemade because in the last video I made this bread and decided to go ahead and make some pies too. So I'm going to have to shorten it up a little bit. So all I'm going to do is take a pie plate. I don't know why, but I always like glass pie plates. For some reason, I like them that way. And I'm just going to use, I think this was, it's not a Kroger's and it's not a Pillsbury. It's a Best Choice. I got it at Campbell's, but it still works good, okay? And really the custard is the main event of the pie, so it's not the crust. When they're made like this, they always turn out. And I'm not making a big mess. My daughter can make really good pie crust, but as much as I bake and as much as I've done through the last 45 years, I've never made a pie crust to satisfy me. And when I thought I did, it turned out hard, like, so I don't give it the effort like I would towards something else. So I'm just going to take my thumb and finger and go around that. Just make it a little fancier than what it is, you know. It's that easy. There's nothing, you know, some people don't like custard, but we love it here. And believe me, when my husband gets up and he sees a custard pie sitting there, it won't be long, I'll tell you. And then bread rolls. So we've got that, I mean, already. So we'll just give us a couple more little turns. Make sure it's all mixed up real good in there. Okay. Smells good. And then I'll just take that pie filling and put it right in here like that. Makes perfect size and everything. So then you can see that pie. It's right to right size, and you'll put that, preheat your oven to 425, and then do it for 15 minutes and then turn it down to 350 for another 40 minutes. So then what I do, and maybe some people might not like this either, but I put nutmeg on them. I think it makes a good pie to have nutmeg over the top, and it's cute. You could put anything else or nothing, but I've always put nutmeg on them, and I think it gives it that extra yummy. Or you could put cinnamon or whatever. So that's how easy that is. That pie is done. So now I'm just going to start on the other one. Again, we do 4 eggs. I probably could have put them all in there at once, but I didn't. 4 eggs. You can use 3 eggs if you want to, if you don't want to splurge, but I've always put 4. Same with the sugar cookies. I never splurge on the eggs or anything like that. If you're going to do something like this, it should taste good. But 3 eggs will work. They will work. So I'm going to put that in. Mix all, let's see, I'll do that. And I'll put the sugar in. The cornstarch. Like I said, the cornstarch always gets it to where it's not big holes and watery and all that. And the milk. And I always put a little bit of salt. You don't have to put vanilla. I have forgotten to do vanilla before and it tastes just as good. But I'm going to put just a little bit in there. Hi, Amy. I love custard too. I mean, it's just one of my things. So I'll just let that sit there until I get this open. My hand opener from Tupperware here. I decided, Amy, just to go ahead and make the pies tonight. Earlier I was watching, while I was uploading that other video on the YouTube, I was watching the little kids cook on Chopped. I thought that was kind of cute. But, oops, Pam. I'm getting too anxious here. Okay. So I'll just pour that can of milk. It's supposed to take 2 cups, but as you can see, that pie plate was perfect with just 1 can. So it takes 1 can of evaporated milk, and I suggest you use evaporated milk. I mean, you don't have to. I've known people just to use milk, but I think the evaporated milk makes it even a little richer. Really good. I always watch how I put this on because sometimes I'd get in a hurry and it would misreputation a good product, representing a good product. Okay, so now I've got a mess over there and we'll go from there. So I've got the 4 eggs, can of evaporated milk, a tablespoon of cornstarch, a pinch of salt, and about a half a teaspoon or teaspoon of vanilla. You see I'm rocking that pie over there. Really, you don't have to do anything but just this, and it does it. And it's got blades I could put in it. I can make hand salad or anything in them. Chicken salad. Chops up everything. And then this blade makes cake mixes and stuff. You can make your whole cake mix in them. You don't have to get the big blenders out and all that stuff. So, I'll do the next pie. This one's probably a little bit bigger. I got a mess in that. A little bit of milk there. I cleaned up one mess, and now I'm going to have to clean up another one. Okay. And like I said, this is just a cheap pie crust. I need to use it. I'm glad you're on there too, Amy. I seen where you found the other on the bread rolls. I got them done. They turned out really big. I took one apart. I'm not going to eat it though this late, but I know somebody will. I'm just going to pinch that around, you know. Don't have to do anything fancy. Even though I do have all the fancy things to do pie crust. It's got the apples on top and the leaves, and I don't use it that much. And I'll just pinch that together like that. And then we're good to go. It's ready. I lived in a cabin for 16 years and raised my kids in a cabin before I moved to town. We didn't have running water. We didn't have plumbing, anything. didn't have the money, but the kids were happy and they're very prosperous today. But I mean, we caught rain for water and all that stuff. So I learned when I lived up there that God gave me hands and fingers, and that's how I made my doughs and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really have that mixer to do all that. I had the old potato masher, and so if I don't feel like getting the gadgets out, I don't. I just do it this way because it can be done. But now I do have all the gadgets now. And then you just simply take and pour that in. If you're going to use a mixer or a whisk, just whisk it. But this is really handy because it mixes it really good. Like you can't even see where I put the cornstarch in. Okay, now that second pie is filled, and I'm just going to take some nutmeg and sprinkle over that. I just think a pie looks so pretty, and nutmeg seems to make a taste to that custard. There we are. That's how easy that was. So I'm going to put these pies in the oven, and I'll put them in there together. And when I get them out and they're done, I will put a picture down at the bottom and let you see. And if you want the recipe, I'll put it on there. It's so simple and easy, and you've got a whole custard pie, maybe to yourself or with someone else. But I always make two, because he'll eat one entire pie himself. But he doesn't get them very often like he used to, so he makes good of it. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these pies, and when they're done, I'll let you see how pretty they are. And then when they cool off real good, I'll cut one and let you see the inside of that pie. But these are absolutely delicious pies. And they're very cheap and good to make and simple. I found out the way they used to make them years ago, like our grandmas and all them. They didn't fancy up things. Stuff like this is what tasted good, and when people gathered around and ate and all that stuff. So we're going to have our homemade bread that I did a little bit ago tomorrow. We'll have 2 custard pies. And after that, I think I'm just going to make some potatoes and green beans and bacon together, and we'll have that. So, simple. Anyway, God bless you. I love it when I'm on here with you all and get to see your comments and all that stuff. Hi, Franklin. How are you? You'll have to make you a pie now, because it's that easy to make a pie and that easy to make them bread rolls. It's really easy and something to do. So anyway, God bless you, and I will show you at the end. Kelly Brown said, looks yummy. If you have on an extra slice, you could bring it to me tomorrow afternoon at work. Are you going to be working around 5 o'clock, Kelly? Because I can bring you a piece if you're working on my way to church. I got to speak tomorrow night, so that's why I'm doing all this tonight. So if you're going to be there, write it and tell me, and I'll bring you a piece before the pie monster gets into it and everything. Either that or a piece of bread. I don't know which one you wanted. So anyway, God bless you, and I will post it in a few.